Hello, class. So we are now in section 10.9, all right, which is systems of inequalities. All right, so if we remember chapters 1, 2, and 3, right, we remember that the solution to an equation, right, solution to equation was a number, right? Any with systems, right, there were numbers, right, that became points. But the solution to an inequality, right, was a set that we described with set notation. Here, it's kind of so hard to describe that we're just gonna draw pictures instead, which is kind of why I like this section. Okay, so let's solve this system, right? It's a system because it has two equations, but they're not equations, right? This is a system of inequalities. So it has two inequalities, okay? So here, basically what you're gonna do, okay, is you're gonna draw the lines, okay? So x equals 9, you go to 9. So 1, 2, 3, 9. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw. And then you have to check, right? Is this a less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, like, right, what kind of sign? So this doesn't have an equal to bar under it. So I'm gonna draw a dotted line, okay? And hopefully it's, straight. Okay, better. Okay, so if you see this, it's a solid line. If it doesn't have the bar, it's a dashed line. Okay, and so x greater than 9, right? We hopefully all know that set, right? The answer to that would be bigger, right? So like 10, for example. So everything to the right, I'm gonna shade in, okay? So I've shaded in everything to the right, okay? Now, I'm gonna graph this parabola, right? Y equals x squared, right? It looks like this. Okay, and since it has the equal to bar, it's solid. Okay, and I want to know when y is greater than x. So you could pick a test point. Okay, I'm gonna pick 0, 1, and I'm gonna plug it in to see if it's right. So, right, this is y and this is x. So if I plug it in there, 1 is greater than or equal to 0. That is true. So that means I should shade in everything above this line. Okay, and your answer is where it's double shaded. Okay, so this is your answer. Okay, this part right here forever. Okay, this set is your answer, and the important thing is you need to tell me this point. Okay, the corners of your set. You need to tell me. So how you find the corners is you just set both of these equal to each other. Okay, so you want to solve the system, the regular system, the nonlinear system from last section, y equals x squared, x equals 9. Well, you could, right, this is easy to solve, right? Y equals 81. So this point is 9 comma 81. And this is your answer. Like literally you must draw this, label this point, and tell me this spot is the answer. Okay, so your answers are graphs. Okay, you don't, and they must be medium level accurate with correct labeling. Okay, all right. Now, let me, if I can do this properly, switch to I'm going to share my whole screen. So hopefully, yes. So hopefully you see my whole screen. And we're going to go to our favorite graphing software, Desmos. Okay. And here you can see prettier versions of the question, right? So y greater than or equal to x squared. So you see that it's the parabola y equals x squared, but you shade in everything up here. Okay, because you would plug in a test point and figure out that it's correct. Okay, and then x greater than 9, you see that they dotted it for me, right? Like it's dotted, it's not solid. This one is solid, this one is dotted, right? Oh, 9, excuse me. So here it is at 9, right? And if I scroll up, ta-da, we can see my answer, right? My answer would be this chunk right here, right? And if we go down to 81, right, you see that's where they cross at 981. Okay, so Desmos is very nice because it'll show you if you're right or wrong. Okay, so highly encourage you guys to use Desmos. It's very nice. I like it. Okay, and let's just do some more examples here. Okay, so let's have this system. Y greater than or equal to x squared minus 2. Y less than 11. Okay. So, right, so I have to graph y equals x squared minus 2 and y equals 11. Okay, so I'm gonna, get out this thing. Y equals x squared minus 2, so I'm gonna put a minus 2, right? And then I'm just gonna quadratic, right? And then y equals 11. Let's pretend this is 11. And remember, this one doesn't have an equal to sign, so bar. Okay. And then okay, so now I need to know where to shade in the spots, right? So for the y less than 11, hopefully you guys just know it's down here, okay? If not, plug in a test point. I would pick like 0, 0, 0, right? Is 0 less than 11? Yes. Okay, so you would plug in under the line. Okay. Now, the parabola, you might not be able to tell if it's above or below the parabola. Okay. So here again, I would just plug in a test point, plug in 0, 0. Okay. You can't plug in any points on the parabola though. Okay. So if you plug in 0, 0, 0 greater than or equal to -2, that is correct. So since 0, 0 is above the parabola, that means I would shade in above, right? And so that means that, well, this should be open circles. So open circle, this dotted line. This is my answer. This shaded region here, okay, like a cup. And I need to know these two corners, okay? And technically it's really easy because I already know the y coordinate, right? It's 11. So I just need to figure out what x needs to be, right? Because y equals 11. So then plug it in. 11 equals x squared minus 2. 11, well, okay, subtract 2, we'll add 2 to both sides, so 13. So x equals plus or minus square root 13. So here's the plus 13, and here's the minus 13, and ta-da, there you go. Final answer. Okay. And let's go to Desmos. So here, minus 2. Okay. All right, and then y has to be less than 11. Ta-da, and we see, right? We obviously get the cup, right? Here's where both of them are shaded. And then you get the corners. right? Y equals 11, and that's the square root of 13. All right. So ta-da, answer. Okay. All right. Let's do another one, a classic one. All right. Circle, if you remember. Okay. And a line. Okay, so right, that means we have to draw the circle, which I'm not even gonna write it down. That means we have to draw the circle on the line and then figure out where to shade. So the circle, hopefully you know, is centered at 0, radius 5. Okay. That's not. Circle. That's a horrible circle. Circle. Okay, much better. Okay. So radius 5. Right, 5, 5. Line, it's a line. It has y-intercept 5. No, it doesn't. It has y-intercept 2/5, 5/2, which is like 3.5. Slope -1 though. So this is your line. These are the intersection points. And so, okay, for a circle, you can just cheat. If it's a less than sign, it's going to be inside the circle. If it's a greater than sign, it's going to be outside the circle. Okay, but you can always plug in a test point. Also, I just realized that the circle should be dotted. Okay, so let's pretend that this is dotted properly. Okay, so dotted circle, okay, not a solid line. Okay, there we go, dotted circle. Okay, so inside the circle, okay, inside the circle. So now I just need to know above the line or below the line. So I'll plug in a test point, 0, 0. 0 plus 0 greater than or equal to 5. That's wrong. Okay, so my test point is 0, 0, and that's not correct. So that means it's not below the line, it's above the line. Okay. So then we see, right, that again, this should be open circles. Open circle, dot, 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 dash, dash, dash. Solid line. Right, we see that this wedge, this moon slice or whatever, okay, semicircle, that is my answer. And I just now need to figure out the corners, okay? So this one is one of the ones where like I actually gave you 2 separate lines, right? So now you actually have to do a little bit of work, right? This is a system of nonlinear, right? So I'm going to solve the bottom. I'm going to solve this using substitution. So x equals 2y. Okay, just kidding. -2y plus 5. Okay, I plug that in there. So -2y plus 5 squared plus y squared equals 25. 4y squared plus 20. Just kidding, minus 20. Y plus 25 plus y squared equals 25. All right. So 5y squared minus 20y equals 0. Divide by 5, y squared minus 4y equals 0. Y minus 4 equals 0. So y is 0, 4, which means the corresponding x's would be, so I plug in 0 for y, that's going to be 5, and 4, that would be -3. Okay, so this graph is technically wrong. It is close to being right though. If I want to cheat a lot, Oh, now it's correct. Right, this is 5, 0. And this is negative 3, 4. There we go. Okay. And this is now the final answer. Okay. Really, I don't care how good it looks. Like honestly, it would be kind of a big deal though if you didn't draw an intercept correctly. That's kind of like the one thing that must be drawn correctly, sort of, is the intercepts. But if you label them, I'll still mark you correct. It's fine. Okay. But yeah, so we got this as the answer. And again, let's go to Desmos and plug it in. So x squared plus y squared less than 25. Okay. So we see, right, circle radius 5, like I said, with the dotted line. And then again, if it's a less than, it's inside. If it's a greater than, it's outside. Okay. So that's just an easy thing to do with circles. Okay. So less than. And then the line x plus 2y greater than or equal to 5. And ta-da! And if I click, look, negative 3, 4, 5, 0. Okay. And then we see, right, this is the double colored part. So that's the answer. Okay. So really, this section is not much harder than the last section, right? In fact, it's probably easier because I'm going to have, like, right, you're going to need to be able to graph these things, okay? So it's only so complicated that I can make the questions, okay? And they should all have very nice-ish answers, right? Like no fractions, hopefully. Definitely no complex things, okay? Now, I'm just going to introduce, because your textbook kind of wants me to, but this is not a big deal. This would not be on the test. All right, but system of linear inequalities. All right, this is like mostly a Math 132 topic, not really Math 126. But, right, systems can get bigger, right? So for instance, I can have a system like this, okay? Right, so here I have 4 inequalities. What's the system? Well, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna graph all of the lines, okay? And since they're lines, you know how to graph them, right? So x equals 0, y equals 0, y equals negative x plus 8, y equals negative 1/3 x plus 4, okay? And then so this, okay, I hope you guys can see that this means above the x-axis and to the right of the y-axis, right? It means positive numbers, right? So really, I'm just going to focus on the first quadrant, and I'm going to draw these two, right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's this thing's y-intercept. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 x-intercept. So, okay, that's this line. Let me do this line in blue. Okay, so that has y-intercept 4. And the x-intercept 9, 10, 11, 12. The x-intercept is 12. So, okay, that's a little difficult. No, right? Nope. Okay, pretend you had a ruler. Okay, pretend that's a straight line. Okay. All right. So we have options, right? We need to know if we're above or below. So plug in 0, 0 for this one. Is 0 less than 8? Yes. So that means we're going to be below this black line. Okay. But again, remember this. I'm in only the first quadrant. So actually, let's not even draw it like that. were here, okay, that's possibly where my answer is. Now I need to check the blue equation. Let's plug in 0, 0. Is that correct? Yes. So I'm below the blue line also. So my answer will be, these are all solid actually, so I can just draw a solid line. Okay, let's pretend I can draw straight lines. I know it's mildly difficult. All right, so this pentagon, just kidding, that's a square, except it's a quadrilateral. This is my answer, and you just need to tell me all the corners, right? So here, that's 0, 4. This one's obviously 0, 0. This one is 8, 0. This one is the one you need to figure out. So, right, how did I get that dot? Right, that's when both of the blue line and the black line intersect. So you should solve for x, right? So I'm going to add x to both sides. So 2/3 x, subtract 4 equals 4. So x equals 12 divided by 2, so 6. So if x equals 6, y equals 2. So this is the point 6, 2, which it is. And you can draw this also in decimals if you wanted to, right? This one will just be a little messy because we have 4 equations, right? So I need x greater than 0. That's the right half plane. Okay. I need y greater than 0. So we see again, this just means the first quadrant. Okay. And then I need x plus 3y less than or equal to 12. Okay, so this is the okay, can I change? Okay. This is the blue line, unfortunately. So we see we got this like lower, this triangle thing, right? And then let's get the last one in here. So x plus y less than 8. So this is the last one. And we see the parts where all 4 colors are, right, would be this like quadrilateral, right? This chunk right here. That's where all 4 of them overlap. So this, quadrilateral is the answer. Okay. All right. But this is, again, this is mostly 132. They just wanted me to talk about it a little bit because you should know how to do it if you can do the harder versions with not lines, right? Okay, but that's this section. All right, it's just really just draw. Can you draw the graphs? Okay, and then know where to shade in. Okay, which you just plug in a test point. If it doesn't work, then it's the opposite side. If it works, then it's that side. Okay. But this is it for section 10.9. Okay, which this kind of is the end of systems. Okay, so if you've made it this far, you have survived the systems section chapter. All right. That's it. Maybe for more examples, encourage you to look at the text notes. Okay. But that's it. See you guys next class.